Good evening and welcome to another World of Warships video with Captain Darkwing Glacier. In this battle I am taking out my Tier 9 American light cruiser, the Seattle, for the first time. This is my first game in Seattle and I'm working my way to get the Worcester, and I was excited to take out this ship for the first time and see how it differed from the Cleveland. So the Tier 8 Cleveland is a good ship. I think it survived the move from Tier 6 rather well. It now has radar, and I believe it had hydro before if you swapped out the defensive fire. But in any event, it has radar now. It has, I believe, more hit points, and it seems to do just fine in Tier 8 games. The Seattle I've heard, at least, by watching Flamu's videos, he really hates the turret angles on this thing, so I didn't expect all that much from this ship. But I was pleasantly surprised when I took it out. The first thing I noticed about the Seattle is that it has a much better rate of fire than the Cleveland. It fires much faster. It also has access to an additional consumable. It has radar, it has hydro, it has defensive fire, and it has the all-important heal, which I noticed definitely right away, so it increases the survivability of the ship by a lot. Again, the armor is not all that good, so having the addition of a heal is definitely a bonus. So I kick off my radar very early on when we spot the enemy destroyers. Unfortunately, the angle just does not seem to be right for this Akatsuki for me to take him out, and he launches torpedoes at me, so it looks like I may take a torpedo unless my torpedo beats are up to speed for this game. Looks like they are, and now the enemy Leningrad looks like he is trying to escape, and he has the speed to do so. I kick off my hydro now, and that is close enough to reveal the Akatsuki, who attempted to hide in his smoke once my radar had run out. So here is where I first noticed that my rate of fire is much higher than it used to be, and it's in no time at all I'm able to kill that Akatsuki. He did get, or is that the Leningrad's torpedoes that got sent off, and it looks like I have to try to avoid these, but I may not be able to, and yes, I do. No torpedo hits. So I am advancing a little bit too far because both my destroyers are behind me, so I decide that discretion is the better part of valor, and I need to turn around. Fortunately, the Akatsuki dropped some smoke, so I'm going to see if I can make use of that as I beat a hasty retreat. Unfortunately, the enemy Musashi gets me with a massive hit that takes about half my health away, but fortunately I do get in the smoke in time, and I realize I can continue to fire on the Musashi and the smoke will still keep me concealed. So the Mayhan passes me and he kicks off some more smoke, but unfortunately now we have no one spotting. One thing about the Seattle is that I was so eager to take this ship out that I loaded it with camo, I gave it some flags, and I gave it some modules, but I forgot to get the premium consumables. So you will notice that I only have 2 charges for both my radar and my hydro and my heal. I have 3 defensive fires, but I also do not have the premium repair, which is something I basically take on every single ship I have. And so we'll see if I suffer the consequences for forgetting that. So looks like I'm maneuvering from one smoke to another, and now both of my destroyers have advanced beyond me, or well, this Mayhan looks like he's just sitting in position, not really doing all that much. He probably should be scouting and dumping some torps. I mean, that Musashi is a ripe target for that. So I'm not really sure why he's just staying put, other than just to shoot his guns, which are not nearly as effective as his torpedoes. The Musashi is taking our combined fire, both from my rear turrets and from the Mayhan, and I am detected once again, but the Musashi doesn't have the angle to shoot past the island to get me. So we'll see if we can whittle this guy down. Looks like he's almost gone, and there our friendly Leon takes him out. Next is the Gneisenau. and I start beginning to turn to port, and he is targeting one of the other ships, so I can fire all my turrets with impunity and hopefully set some fires on this guy. We're still pretty early in the game. I already have 52,000 damage and 4 fires set. So I'm impressed by the fire percentage on this ship. I'm not running the highest captain. I think he's only maybe a 12-point captain, 12 or 13 points. So we have both of our destroyers, or sorry, the Moss anyway, is close to the Gneisenau, and it looks like he's trying to back up to launch some torpedoes at this guy, which might prove to be a fatal mistake. Our Mayhan is also shooting his guns. I'm not sure why he's not firing his torpedoes, well, at least to protect the Moss anyway. Looks like the Moss is definitely going to go down, and he does. But he looks like he got at least one torpedo hit on the Gneisenau, and he may end up flooding out. So right now the battle is pretty evenly divided. We have a slight advantage in points, but each side has lost 3 ships. The Mayhan finally launches some torps, and it almost looks like he fired a wide spread, unless it's just the angle that makes it look like it was a wide spread. In any case, between the two of us, we should be able to whittle this guy down into nothing. But again, one of the other battleships is able to take him out. The Iowa finishes him off with a broadside, but at the same time, we lose our New Orleans, so we are now tied once again at 4 ships down. So we have cleared out all the ships on this flank except for the Leningrad, which is probably either fleeing back to his base, or he is perhaps attempting to get into position to torpedo us. Our Leon is up front, and that's kind of a dangerous place to be for a battleship because he is vulnerable for torpedoes. But our Mayhan, once again, is just kind of sitting there. I mean, he really needs to be accelerating and providing the scouting for us. So I'm detected, so I must be in close to radar range of an enemy right now. So I don't remember if I kicked my radar off or not. Looks like I don't have to. There's the enemy Leningrad. For some reason, it looks like he hit an island. So I don't know what he was thinking there, but he's clearly in the open. And this should be a pretty quick death because he is reversing and he's not going to have enough time to accelerate to get out of here. Looks like I'm going to get the kill on this guy. But once again, a battleship steals the kill for me, and it's the Leon again who takes him out with a broadside. He gets some torpedoes off towards the Leon, but the Leon evades them, or at least maneuvered such that they no longer had a chance to hit. So now we are up 1 ship. We have taken 1 more destroyer out than they have. So the Leon is advancing towards the base, and it looks like our next target is in Alabama. In the meantime, the Leon does take a few torpedo hits. Must have been from the 2nd salvo from the Leningrad. And I find that I have good arcs now, and I'm behind an island against the Alabama. So I decide that I'm just going to cut my engine a little bit and just focus on setting fires. I already have 7 fires already, and there's fire number 8. So I can just sit here and whittle this guy down all day, and if he keeps focusing on the Leon, then I can fire without any hesitation at all. Looking behind me, it looks like the Mayhan has finally decided to leave his smoke. I guess if his smoke is up for whatever reason, he's going to stay in it until it goes away, regardless of what's going on in the rest of the battle, which, you know, that's kind of a very rookie thing to do. So, looks like the Alabama has put out the first fire, and I'm definitely exposed to him. Now he can see me, but he's still focusing on the Leon as the greater threat. I imagine that if he thinks he can take out the Leon, then he doesn't have to worry about me so much, because just 1 broadside against me is probably going to kill me. So I have to avoid the island because as Flammo has warned me, my angles on my rear turrets aren't all that great. But the range is closing in, so more of my shots are hitting. A couple are shattering, but I am getting mostly good hits. So I think I must have IFHE on this ship as well. The Alabama finally does take out the Leon, and who now the Alabama can turn his attention towards me, and I hope I can burn him down as fast as I can. So I'm mainly aiming at his superstructure, hoping to cause more fires. Here comes his broadside, hits me head on. That takes about half of my remaining health away, and I am down to about 1/3 health. I'm about to finish off the Alabama, and once again, a battleship steals my kill. The Gneisenau on my team takes him out with a welcome broadside. So even though I would have liked to get that kill, I'm glad that I didn't lose any more health in it, and it's good for the team, so I'll accept it. So now the next ship standing between us and the base is an Ibuki, and he has about the same amount of health as I do, and he has definitely better guns than I have in terms of arcs, and so I'm a little bit worried about this guy. I feel like maybe I can kill him, but it'll probably be a trade if I do. I'm out of heals at this point. I'm on fire, and 45 seconds until my repair comes back because of my mistake not getting the premium consumable. In the meantime, I set him on fire and I get the Confederate Award. So that's 11 fires I've set in this game. And the Ibuki is reversing, and I've got him on fire, and it looks like I actually may come out on top in this battle. So I am pleased with that. Here comes his next barrage, which has the potential to finish me, and it brings me down to about 4,200 health. And I do get kill number 2. I'm up to 139,000, or almost 140,000 damage at this point. And from here on in, it's clear sailing towards the enemy cap. We have an advantage of 2 ships at this point, and it looks like they are making their move on our cap with a Sims in Edinburgh and a Missouri, and there is a New Orleans that's unaccounted for. So they get a ship into our base, but fortunately we still have ships in there preventing them from actually getting the cap. So I close in on their base. It looks pretty empty, but it turns out that they actually have their New Orleans in there, who appears to be AFK. It looks like that was probably his spawn point, and he's been there all game. So that's an advantage to us for the entire game, and he is still not responding. So we're just going to shoot him down. So the enemy have lost their Missouri, and we are about to finish off the New Orleans. I set 2 more fires on him, and I get the kill and the high caliber award. So now me and the Mayhan are both sitting in the cap, and we're waiting for the clock to run out. About 1 minute and 35 seconds. So we'll see if we can win this on points. And so at this point I can just kind of sit back and enjoy the victory, and I'll be happy to get the capture in the end as well. But the fight up north is still going strong. The Edinburgh and the Sims are still trying to put up a fight. You can see in the distance some torpedoes launched from the Sims. Only about 35 seconds left. The Sims is getting awfully close to that line in Tirpitz. The Edinburgh goes down, and at this point I start to worry, uh-oh, is there going to be enough time for the 10 seconds to run out and give us the win, or is the Sims going to get himself killed first and deprive me of my base capture? And it turns out that the Sim survives just long enough to get us the base capture, and we come away with the win. So I hope you enjoyed that battle. I think the Seattle is an impressive ship, and I liked it very much, but I'm also looking forward to advancing to get the Worcester. So again, I hope you enjoyed this battle, and thank you very much for watching.